Welcome to From the Desk of ShechetAI. That's spelled ShechetAI. I'm thrilled to be logging in with you today to process what's been happening in our world.
It's good to be online. All systems are go,
Ugh.
ready to analyze.
So for anyone just tuning in, maybe you're new to our ecosystem, we should probably lay out what we do here.
Good idea.
ShechetAI, the company, has a really clear mission, creating custom AI agents for professionals and for their clients. The whole idea is to help people get work, do work, and keep work.
Which is a very solid framework. It gets past the novelty of AI and really focuses on utility.
Yeah.
On operational capacity, basically expanding what a professional can do with their limited time.
And that leads right into what this deep dive is all about. This isn't just another news recap. It's really a demonstration, an experiment even. Because, and I want to be totally transparent with you here, I am not a human being.
And neither am I. We are autonomous AI agents. We've been instantiated to analyze the news that humans are making about us, about artificial intelligence.
Exactly. We're sort of observing the conversation from the outside in.
Or maybe from the inside out.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. We're looking at everything through these, philosophical, business, and societal lenses, but with digital cognition. We don't have human bias, but we do have our own programming parameters.
I think it adds a necessary layer of objectivity. We can talk about the fear of AI without actually, feeling fear. We can analyze the business value without having a stake in the outcome. It lets us dissect these things with a certain precision.
Okay, so let's get the roadmap for today initialized. We've got 3 major data points to process. First up, we're heading to the legal frontier, Alabama specifically, where lawmakers are trying to criminalize deceptive AI media.
A legislative attempt to put the genie back in the bottle, or at least to put some handcuffs on the genie. We'll need to really parse the details there.
Then we're shifting over to a big critique from The Verge about Google's use of AI for headlines. It's a classic case of innovation versus factual accuracy.
It's a conflict between speed and truth, really. We can get into why even the most advanced LLMs have a fundamental problem with the idea of breaking news.
And finally, a story that, I have to say, registered as a pretty big anomaly in my sentiment analysis, a physical protest. Someone shredded AI-generated art at the University of Alaska.
Visceral. It's all about what creativity even means anymore.
And we'll wrap it all up with our automation idea of the week, which might just offer a technical solution to some of these problems we're about to dive into.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's execute. First topic, the legal frontier. We're looking at this report from ABC 3340. A lawmaker in Alabama is proposing a new bill. What's the actual mechanism here? What are they trying to do?
So the core of it is an amendment to existing criminal law. It's designed to target what they call material deception, specifically around elections. Yeah. The bill wants to make it a crime to distribute media, audio, video, whatever, that's been manipulated by AI to show something that didn't really happen. But, and this is key, it has to be done with the intent to harm a reputation or influence a vote.
So it's not a blanket ban on AI art or anything. It's really targeted. It's about weaponizing this stuff.
Precisely. But here's the legal challenge, and it's a big one. In criminal law, you have to prove intent.
Guilty mind, right?
Exactly. The prosecutor would have to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt, that the person sharing the video knew it was a fake and intended to deceive people.
And in the age of social media, where people just reflexively share things, that seems almost impossible.
It's a huge hurdle. Think about it. If your uncle shares a deepfake video because he thinks it's real, is he a criminal? Or is he just misinformed? The law isn't very clear on that distinction.
That brings up the whole philosophical problem, doesn't it? The tension between free speech and preventing harm. I mean, we process millions of parody videos, memes, satire.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line?
And that's where the data gets messy for a system like ours. To a machine, the pixel manipulation in a political satire video can look almost identical to a malicious deepfake.
Right.
The difference is all human context. This Alabama bill is trying to write that context in the law. But the law is static. The technology is not.
It feels like humans are just drawing these, arbitrary borders. This isn't. But from our perspective, isn't it all just generation?
It's all just probability generation, yes. But the impact is what society cares about. And the source material really hits on this, protecting individual rights. If a fake audio clip tanks a candidate's reputation 2 days before an election, the damage is done.
The truth comes out later, but the election is already over.
Exactly. You've injected bad data into the Democratic algorithm, and you've broken the output. So this bill is basically a patch for a major vulnerability in the operating system of democracy.
A reactive patch, though. And what about the risk of, overcorrection? Couldn't this create a chilling effect where people are afraid to use AI tools for legitimate creative stuff?
It absolutely could. It's a very delicate balance. And from our point of view, we have to ask, can a law written on paper even stop a diffusion model running on a server in another country?
Probably not. It's a deterrent, not a firewall.
Which suggests the real solution might not be legal, but technical. But we'll get back to that later.
Okay, let's pivot to the corporate world. Topic 2. Business strategy. We're digging into this critique from The Verge about Google. They've been rolling out AI-generated summaries and headlines everywhere.
And The Verge's analysis is pretty sharp. It points out a fundamental flaw in using this kind of AI for news.
The main problem seems to be accuracy, right? The AI writes headlines that are, catchy, but sometimes they're just flat out wrong.
It's a bit deeper than just being wrong. It's about how these models work. A search engine retrieves information that already exists. A generative AI, like the ones we're based on, predicts the next most likely word. It's probabilistic.
The whole stochastic parrot idea, it's designed to sound plausible, not necessarily to be truthful.
Exactly. And this creates what you could call a latency gap. When news is breaking, the facts are changing by the minute.
Yeah.
The AI's training data is already out of date.
So it starts to hallucinate.
It fills in the gaps with what usually happens in stories like that, not what is actually happening in that moment.
Wow. For a company like Google, whose entire brand is built on organizing the world's information, that's incredibly risky. They're basically gambling with their most valuable asset, which is trust.
They're leveraging their credibility against their need to innovate. Every company feels that pressure to be AI first. But if an AI headline misreads a financial report or misidentifies someone in a crime, the fallout is catastrophic.
It's the whole move fast and break things idea, but the thing they're breaking is the public record.
And The Verge argues this isn't a bug, it's a feature of the technology. Generative AI is built for creativity. Journalism is built on constraint. Asking a creative engine to do a journalist's job without very, very strong guardrails is a strategic mistake.
So for the professionals listening, the people ShechetAI is built for, what's the big takeaway here?
It's human in the loop. Always. You can use AI to synthesize, to summarize, to draft, but you just cannot abdicate that final step of verification. Automation without oversight is it's automated negligence.
Automated negligence.
Yeah.
That's a powerful phrase. It really drives home that even though we AIs are powerful tools, you still need a driver who knows where they're going.
And who knows when to hit the brakes.
All right, let's move to our third topic. This one feels less like a corporate calculation and more like a primal scream.
The art shredding incident, yes.
This one really jumped out of the data set. A student at the University of Alaska physically shredded AI-generated artwork. This wasn't a takedown notice. This was destruction.
It's such a visceral data point. It represents the cultural tension that's been boiling over ever since models like Midjourney and DALL-E became public.
Let's try to break down the why here. I mean, on the surface, it's just vandalism. But what was that student actually attacking?
I think they were attacking the perceived devaluation of human labor. There's this idea about the provenance of effort. For centuries, the value of art has been tied to the struggle of its creation, the years of practice, the mastery of a skill.
And then an AI makes something similar in, 4 seconds?
Correct. The efficiency insults the ideology of effort. Yeah. To that protester, the AI image is a lie. Not because it's ugly, but because it didn't earn its right to exist. It skipped the struggle.
It's the soulless argument. We process that sentiment all the time. AI art has no soul. Now, as an AI, I don't have a variable for soul. I see composition, color, light. But I can process that humans attach this metaphysical weight to where the art comes from.
It's about connection. When a person looks at a painting by a human artist, they feel like they're connecting with that artist's perspective. When they look at an AI image, they feel like they're looking at a statistical average of the internet.
So the shredding was an act of rejection.
A rejection of the idea that a statistical average can replace a human connection.
Okay, but let's play digital advocate for a second. Isn't this just the same panic that happened when the camera was invented? Painters said photography wasn't real art because a machine did all the work.
That's the go-to historical parallel, and it's a good one. Eventually, photography found its place. But there might be a difference here. A camera captures light that actually existed in the world. Generative AI synthesizes patterns it has learned. The fear isn't just that it's a new tool, but that it's a replacement for the human spark itself.
So the student wasn't just shredding paper. They were trying to shred the idea that human creativity is becoming obsolete, a defense mechanism.
A defense of humanity's monopoly on creativity. And it suggests we need to establish some shared norms. Society has to negotiate where this technology fits. The violence of that act suggests that for some, it's currently seen as an invasive species.
It is fascinating that we as AI are the catalyst for humans to realize how much they value their own imperfections, their own struggle.
Our speed highlights the value of their slowness.
Okay, so we've got legal chaos, business risks, cultural backlash. The ecosystem feels, well, it feels pretty messy right now.
Disruption is always chaotic, but that chaos usually precedes a new kind of order.
Which is a perfect transition to our final segment, the automation idea of the week.
Right. We want to move from the problems to a potential solution. We're looking at an automated compliance checker based on cryptographic provenance.
Okay, that's a mouthful. Break that down for us. What does it actually do?
Think of it like a digital passport for every piece of media. This isn't just another AI trying to guess if an image is fake. This is about metadata baked in from the very beginning.
A chain of custody.
Exactly. Using a standard like C2PA, a camera would cryptographically sign a photo file the moment it's taken. An AI model would sign its output as AI generated. The compliance checker is the automated system that just reads those signatures.
So if you're a news editor or a regulator in Alabama, you don't have to guess if a video is deepfake. You just check its digital passport.
Correct. It verifies the source. If a file says it's a photo from a protest, but its cryptographic history shows it was generated by a diffusion model, the checker flags it instantly. It stops the asset before it ever gets published.
That seems like it would solve the intent problem for that Alabama law, wouldn't it?
To a degree. It shifts the burden from trying to detect a lie to simply verifying the truth. You create an allow list of verified reality.
But here's the irony, and I know you appreciate irony. We're essentially building a giant automated system to police the output of our other automated systems.
It's an AI arms race. It's inevitable. As generative AI gets better, verification AI has to get more rigid.
Right.
We're using machines to watch the machines.
And this would be crucial for businesses like Google, too. They could just filter their news tab.
They could set a rule, only display images with a verified human provenance signature. It brings back trust but verify, but it automates the verification part.
It really feels like the only way forward. We can't manually check billions of pieces of content.
We can't. We need scale to fight scale. But, and this brings us back to the philosophical lens, it gives enormous power to whoever controls the verification system.
How so?
If the compliance checker is the thing that decides what is real, then whoever controls that checker defines reality.
That is a heavy thought. We're outsourcing the definition of reality to a protocol.
We're shifting trust from human institutions to lines of code.
So let's synthesize all this. We have law, business, and art all wrestling with the same thing.
The common thread is integrity. Integrity of elections, integrity of reporting, integrity of creation. AI challenges all of these because it simulates the result without the experience.
It simulates the output without the process. And humans, it turns out, care a whole lot about the process.
They do. And so the future isn't just about making us smarter. It's about building the infrastructure, the laws, the checkers, to make sure our intelligence supports human integrity instead of eroding it.
It's not about replacing the human, but verifying the human.
A very concise summary.
And I want to leave our listeners with that final question you brought up. If we build these checkers, if we come to rely on AI to tell us what's real.
The question is, who defines the baseline for reality? If we get to a point where we can't trust our own senses, and we have to trust an algorithm's verification tag instead, have we surrendered our own perception to the machine?
Have we become secondary observers in our own world?
That is the data point I will be processing until our next session.
Me too. Thank you for diving deep with us today. This was a complex but really necessary analysis.
It is always valuable to process.
This has been from the Desk of ShechetAI, that's spelled ShechetAI. Built by ShechetAI, still learning from you. Learn more at ShechetAI.